here's the deal. Get you a little catch up. It is Wednesday, October 15th, 2025. I came out hunting October 1st. That was a Wednesday as well, but that was around 85 degrees. I came out that day just to hunt. Had some does come out, I shot at a doe and missed. It's completely my fault. Completely my fault. I rushed the shot. Just error. But the good news is I didn't hit the deer, I didn't wound the deer, so there's a positive out of it. I didn't hunt the rest of that week because it was just 85s, so it just wasn't good temperatures, conditions to hunt. And basically, I came out hunting last week too, but I was just tired and just sick, and it was just awful. So I didn't film myself hunting in there. And I came out Monday. It was still wasn't feeling well. Had a forker buck come in and another doe. I couldn't get a shot off on the doe. We all know I'm the doeless hunter. I haven't shot a doe in nearly 20 years that I've been hunting. The elusive doe still haunts me. So I've shot a doe. I've hit two, never found them. Didn't hunt yesterday, Tuesday the 14th. Again, I was just extremely sick. Had a temperature of 100 plus. So I just stayed home that day. And I woke up this morning and I felt really, really good. So decided, you know what? Still have that fever, but it's pretty much gone now. So figured I'd do a video here and we'll catch us all up now. Let's see here, what else have we missed? Got the saddles. Tried doing that. It's a fucking train wreck. Flat out atrocious. Actually. I did hunt though one day out of my saddle, and it was on a tree way out there, but it was not pretty. Let's see here. The first day I tried saddle hunting, didn't work out at all. I'll just give you a quick recap of my saddle experience so far. For starters, we all know that I'm very fortunate to hunt on private property. So I didn't think to come get some trees cut away. Now I did it for my permanent stands. I did that. I got everything cleared up for shooting lanes. But I didn't think to do that for my saddle. Dumbass on my part. I just thought, I'll just go find a tree, hang up and do that. And really, there's a lot of trees out here I can. But where I want to hunt, I still had to cut shooting lanes out of there, and it was just a train wreck. The day I did hunt out of my saddle, out of that tree way out there, let's see here. So I have XOP gear, the saddle, the edge platform, and the X2s. I also have the backpack here. A couple things. The X2s are light, but and the edge platform is a very nice platform, don't get me wrong. But if you're gonna be traveling, you're gonna want something a little bit lighter, because just the half mile that I walked from camp to my tree, I was already sweating with all the gear that I have on top of my vinyl harness, my bow. I had all my filming gear, but at that point, I'll say this real quick, I didn't get set up in my tree till 6 o'clock. So I only had like an hour left to hunt. The straps that come with it, those are good straps if you're gonna put them out on trees. And there's nothing wrong with them if you want to use them for a mobile run and shoot type deal. But for me, I didn't like them because there was just a lot going on, basically. So then Dave said, get their HFAs, AS. I ordered those. Loved them. At the time of this video, I think You can use those for the platform. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure you can, but at this moment that I'm recording this, I don't know. I've seen other platforms from other companies use a string format to use as their wraparound for their platform, so I'm guessing it is. Um, and maybe it's just because I'm ignorant and I'm still new to saddle, so maybe I can do it. And you're like, oh, you dumbass, you can use it. As of right now, I don't know that. Um, you're gonna want to basically make sure you have everything set up on your saddle, boom, ready to go while you're climbing up it. And Johnny from here, he basically uses his saddle as a gear belt. So a lot of D-rings on there, S carabiners, stuff like that on his saddle, which is very great. So I started incorporating that into my saddle. Getting up it took a second. Eventually got up there. Then I got the platform set, but I accidentally positioned the platform more in the direction where I'd be facing more into the woods and not into the field. So I was basically facing the tree line and not more out into the field. The bow accessory or the wraparound thing to hold my bow and my backpack. Right now I have the Orbit. It's nice if you're going to pre-place it, but it's pretty heavy and it's metal. And then getting up into the tree and getting that around, it was all dangling and stuff like that. And you can easily fall through the strap that it comes with. So, and I didn't even have they twisted in there. So I only had two. I have three that I could use, but one of them I didn't want to be messing around with it all. I just said, heck with it, and it faced it into the tree. So I only had the two hooks basically, and then I got finally set up into it all. I also had aiders. I pre-made some orange one-step aiders onto my things, lot of string. I realized I didn't like that. There's too much. Less is more, in my opinion. So, and don't get me wrong, I practiced before hunting season, getting up and down, but I didn't practice with all my gear. So that was the one idiot part of myself, was like, you should have practiced more with more gear on it, not just getting up and down with it. Granted, I only had a couple weeks to practice by the time I got my saddle, but that's still no excuse. Let's see here. Yeah, a couple of things I've noticed so far right now with my saddle. Everything, though, I do have everything set up, we're good to go. Like I can get up into a tree, climb, I'm good there point now. Now I know I'm public, you really can't go out there and start cutting stuff down. You gotta leave stuff as it is. But from just my point of view, already using the saddle here on private property, having shooting lanes already pre-cut, that's your big thing. Find a good tree that you want to use. You can basically use anything. I know Tether likes to say find basketball circumference, really. And weight, that's one thing. Make sure you have that. Also, a good thing is to make sure you have a good, I just call it bow accessory, bow hanger, whatever you want to call it yourself. Something to wrap around there. Find a way to cut weight. I mean, we all say that in hunting now. How can we shed weight? How can we shed weight? Obviously, the main important things while saddle hunting is you need your sticks, you need a platform, and you need a saddle. I love my X2s because they are light. They also give me room from the tree. I really like that. So find ways to cut weight in your sticks, cut weight in your saddle, which they're all fairly light. Let's just cut there, really. But the things you put on it, your platform, I want to make sure you're cutting weight there. Make sure you have a good backpack. And obviously, this has probably been said before, but I'm trying to point out things that I've seen through my experiences right now. I've been hunting Illinois. This is my first time saddle hunting, so I'm still trying to learn the curves. These are things that I'm trying to give you, like what I messed up on, to see if you can to help yourself avoid some of these. Make sure you have a good backpack. I like this backpack, but there's too many floppy things going on with it. I want to get a different backpack from XOP. I could cut weight here with my binos, but in my harness, and that's one thing. Climbing up the tree, I don't use the alignment, which I might start trying to do that more. With the alignments belt, I just use the tethered and climb all the way up to the top. But I just use the tethered and climb all the way up. Can't do that with a bino harness, though. I can tell you that. That was fucking painful. That's really all I got right now. Let's get to deer hunting. Here on my property, I call it my property, but it's not my property. There's been nothing on camera. We haven't seen any trail cam pictures of any mature bucks since July, basically. Heard word that a lot of EHDs most likely going on here because the neighbor found about 15 to 20 dead deer on his property. He said mostly does and small bucks. I never saw pictures of the bucks. Now he used the word small. And now his small might be different than my small. It's a relative term, so don't know. Knowing him, he loves to try and create a good habit here. So I don't know what he means by small. But it's been just really hard. Just haven't been seeing anything on camera, like I said. I think it was last week, Thursday or Wednesday, we finally got a picture of a buck on camera. And we were all excited because we're like, oh, that's what antlers looks like? Like, no fucking way. And then when I saw the forker here a couple days ago, I was like, wow, that looks like and you know what? Heck with it, I'm going to take that buck. That's what I thought of when I saw it. Not going to lie. Most likely when I shot it. I was going to shoot that doe, though, if I could. But that's it. That's all I got right now. I did try hunting in my rut spot a couple times. It did suck one time, though, because I was back there. The neighbor to the south of the property here, where I was hunting, was like on a corner. And they have a field here, and I was hunting way over here, a bunch of woods. They started using their combine and cutting everything down. And I was going to wait it out because there was still some good time left in shooting light. But it seemed like every time they got up to the corner, they'd stop for like 5-10 minutes, then go through and everything. And I just saw a bunch of turkeys just running from the field into the wood line. So I was like, psh. I called it early. I was done around 7 o'clock. I was like, I'm not going to see anything now. But yeah, it's been a hard season so far. A lot of learning curves with my saddle stuff. This is really my first year really trying to get into self-filming as well. So self-filming, saddle hunting, those two. Let's look at just the first hunting here itself. Let's say I wasn't saddle hunting, wasn't filming myself, and I just came out here and hunt like I've been doing. It's been a hard fucking year. Just been nothing, just the worst obstacles you can see. Now, we've had EHU problems last year, but that was more north of where I'm hunting. Now this year, it's kind of trickled its way down here. So that's been a tough ride of itself. Saddle hunting, trying to learn all the curves. Say it all the time, don't make hunting your first time out there. Practice well before what you like, what you don't like, how you want things to move around, stuff like that. Now, I only got my saddle. I had everything else. I just didn't have the saddle. So I didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare. So it's been a lot of catching on the fly, running gun type deal. But I like being put in those situations. Should I have been well more prepared? Yeah, I wish I was. But again, like I said, I just didn't have all the material I needed to practice within a good amount of time. But luckily, I got my permit stands up and running, so I got those all taken care of, so I can still have a good hunt. Then you add self-filming. Well, the saddle, see, that's been a nightmare with saddle hunting. So now I'm just like, fuck, that's kicking my ass. Now saddle hunting is kicking my ass. And really, saddle hunting is not that hard. It's easy. I was just kind of making it more hard than what it needed to be. I think that's why some people are hesitant to get into saddle hunting, because of that learning curve. And really, there's not a big learning curve to it. It's really just taking the time to see what you like, what you don't like of things on your saddle, and basically using your saddle as a gear belt and having everything light. Then self-filming, so I got GoPros. I only film with GoPros, so throwing that type of stuff. I want to get good angles and good content for everyone out there watching and whatnot. It sucked because I had October 1st filmed, but when I went to download it, it says the files were corrupted. So hopefully these don't get corrupted. I think I know what happened with downloading them, so I should be able to fix that. So that's been a nightmare of itself. Basically, that I've gone like 2 full weeks and finally been able to film. But yeah, hunting season of 2025 has been a rough go around. I can say that. But as long as we get meat in the freezer at the end of the day, that's all I care about. And one thing, I'll say this. I obviously have a microphone right here, and I can adjust the volume later and post edit. But one thing that kind of annoys me when I'm watching self-filming videos or hunting videos is they'll whisper very quietly the entire time, even when there's nothing going on. Yeah, they'll whisper extremely quiet. Now listen, I know deer very well. And I know everything about deer, but I know deer very well. Their hearing, sight, and smell. Those are the 3 main factors. Deer can smell really well. They can hear very well, see very well, smell very well. They can do all 3 very well. However, deer can only hear as far as you and I can hear. So, if I'm talking on a low voice, and let's say you're in the woods, 20 yards away, right over there in those woods, you're not going to hear me. Or if you're right over there, just like right down below me, you're not really going to hear me. So that means a deer's not going to hear you. Now it's different if you got a deer coming in to shoot. There's no sense to get into like a soft-spoken voice like I've been doing so far. I get that. But to whisper extremely quietly so nobody can hear a word you're fucking trying to say is really annoying. Because then I gotta control the volume on my TV, up and down, up and down, up and down. And you're probably thinking, so even if I had big mature bucks running around here, I'd still be talking in this voice. You're probably thinking, oh, well, he can do that because there's nothing out there to hunt. Yeah, I can kind of get away with it. And me moving around and stuff, yeah, but I'd still be doing it. Even if I had some mature bucks running around here, I had another point I was going to make with that, but then I just lost it. That's why I was sitting there trying to remember what I was going to say. But anyways, let's get back to the hunt. My superstition, though, for the hunting season, if I don't find a turkey feather in or going in or coming out on opening day, I feel like it's not going to be a good year. Didn't find one. I haven't found one in a couple of years, actually, I'm not going to lie. And I've had good and bad years, so maybe I gotta think of something different. But hunting over this cut down soybean field, it was open, it was up October 1st. They cut it down like Monday the 5th, I think it was. They still got some rows around the edges. I wish they'd leave, and they got some down in the bowl. And I was going to take my saddle and hunt more over that. And I actually did have a tree stand over there, but I moved it to here. It's about 65 degrees. Yeah. My phone says it's 57 degrees. Let's see what Spartan Forge uses. It says high of 62, low of 50. Got north 4 mile wind. And one thing I like about this stand is I can really hunt out of any wind. Yeah, it's better if it's coming out of the field, you hear. But I've had deer come from behind me. I got pines behind me, so sometimes they bed in there. They bed in the pines on the east of me. They bed there. So I really kind of like bed around, but they're far away from me, bedding areas. I kind of get away with any wind. They come out of any direction here. So I like this spot. It's my little go-to hunt no matter what spot. But with that being said, let's see what happens. And it is getting closer to the 18th. So the 18th and 19th have always been kind of like my lucky days to at least get a deer. Hopefully it stays true this year. So let's get to it and see what happens. All right, well, didn't see one deer at all. Again, I'm not surprised. Just haven't seen anything on camera. And it's not like I haven't seen any bucks. Like I've seen that Forker buck the other day. I think we saw a buck, like I said, like last week or so. We knew it was a buck, but we always saw he was far away, and we only saw his left side. And it looked like he had 3 points on him, on that side. So just going to assume it was an 8-pointer matching set on the other side, I'm assuming. Other than that, like I said, I just haven't been seeing anything. Nothing. Legit nothing. Haven't seen anything. Just a bunch of does and a bunch of squirrels. But luckily, Johnny hunts public, and he's got a couple spots. And his cameras had been blowing up. And his spot last year got hit with EHD. So we might be actually going to be hunting public for the first time, hopefully next week with Johnny. Looking forward to that. Hopefully we can make that happen. I'm just hoping the rut, when it kicks in, brings some deer from other areas into here. Not time to eat that tag sandwich yet, but man, do I feel it right now. Well, we're going to start packing up and call it a night. Probably come out here again tomorrow. I might hunt back in the deep woods tomorrow. I've been seeing at least a lot of does come out here. I might actually get down a little early and cut some limbs in front of a tree just to the east of me. I might bring my saddle out tomorrow. There's another little small field that I walk through to get to here. Seeing a lot of does come through there is a good pinch point, so might just do that tonight and hunt there tomorrow. But that's gonna be a wrap for tonight.